But imagine right now that you were in a fortress, and the fortress is surrounded by uh, a rowdy crowd, or warriors even. So you're all alone in this fortress, and you've got warriors trying to break in on you. So what you do is you crack the gate just far enough to let one of the people in, and you make your peace with them. Look, I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm just trying to live a life over here. Uh, I've got I've got bounty, so if you want to share it, I'd love to share it with you, whatever. But you make your peace with that one, and then you open the gate just a little, and you let in a second one, and you go into the process of making peace with the second one, and then a third, and then a fourth. What if you were to recognize that there is it is sort of a paradox, but it's not a real paradox. It's just a mental paradox. That there's just one, as you said, and when there's just one, who is there to forgive you? Well, there's nothing but you.
Yes.
So when we say that when we hurt somebody else, we're hurting ourselves, that's a good relative pointer at truth, but it's not the truth because there isn't. There aren't two of us. The one thing, when it becomes noticeable that they're just the one thing. I can tell you that there was a time in my life when I had, well, there was decades in my life where I had a bunch of resentments. But there was one time where I was holding some very pent up key resentments in my life. And it was about, of course, these other people who had done me wrong. And I had, of course, they had done me wrong because I did them wrong first. But I didn't see that. I mean, after all, shoot, I'm nothing. I'm, I'm, I'm just an imaginary character, if you will. So I can't be held, you know, responsible as Monica was talking about. I can't be held responsible because there's no one here. That's the biggest cop out I know. It's just not the way we we recognize truth. It's the way that we recognize that it's the way that we hide from truth. I had all of these resentments, and I had let myself off the hook. I mean, they were not. I'm not saying there were no. I don't want to say there were no heavy regrets because of the understanding of the oneness, but I had not given them the freedom of oneness. And one night I was driving in a car, and all of a sudden it just dawned on me that they were not responsible for what so-called they, had done to so-called me. Everything had just happened. And what was happening was that things happened, and then I jumped out there and said, well, I did these things. And you jumped out there and you said, you did these things. Then I jumped out there and I said, you did these things. You jumped out there and said, but it was okay because you did those things. No, that's true. Everything happens. Now, that doesn't let the body off of the hook. The body takes the rap, as I like to say. The body is the one that takes responsibility, is the one that receives responsibility, if you will, for what occurs in relativity. You can't get out of that. There is the only karma that I really know of is instant karma. So there is the karma of my blaming others, and the karma for that is that I feel like shit because you didn't do what I believe you should. And then I'm also, you're blaming me for something I could clearly did not do. And that's just copping out. It's just completely copping out because the body did do things within relativity. It doesn't, not within the dreaming. That's what we're addressing here. That's what we're addressing here almost always, is we're not addressing life in how to handle life as an awakened being. It's there's no handling life as an awakened being because you can't find the awakened being. You think this is it, but it's not. There's recognizing that the way to really let in that whole crowd, to forgive the entire crowd that surrounds your fortress me, is to forgive them first. And if it's any comfort to you, you're out there too. You may believe you're in the fortress of me, but there ain't no fortress of me. That's just a mental position. And usually that mental position has something to do with I'm right. I'm right, and I get this, and you don't get it. And that's the problem. The problem is not that you don't get it. The problem is I don't get it, and that there's no you. So how much do I need to forgive me for having done nothing? Again, we can't take this as a relative compound because it's not. This is just truth. How much can I be held to the fire for what I didn't do? There's no me to hold close to the fire, so that would be more imagination. There's no me over here to suffer. That's more imagination. There's this, and it happens as it happens.